We're getting lit tonight. WWE is expecting to bring 3 PLEs to Saudi Arabia in 2026, with the Royal Rumble being one of them. I'm excited. I got 2 old timers with me here, George and Dose. What do you all think about the Saudi shows? Not your cup of tea, or do you give? What do you think about the Rumble being there in 2026?
I mean, I guess I'm sort of used to it by now. A third show is a bit of a surprise. I mean, I'm sort of surprised that there wasn't another country that got into the game, UAE or Bahrain, Kuwait, somebody, in the same region. Saudi really loves it. I mean, I don't know. It's a little dull to me that they're going to be going 3 times a year to the same place. I hope it doesn't mean another PLE, but I almost sort of hope it does, just because.
Yeah, it will. It does. 3 PLEs, I believe. I mean, Rumble being cool. One of them. Yeah,
it'd be super cool if one was like an NXT TNA show, but that's not what Saudi's paying for, right?
What's Punk gonna do though? Like, take that talk back, George. What say you, buddy? You a fan of this?
As long as they make the shows meaningful, I'm fine.
Exactly. As long as they just aren't glorified house shows, I'm with you.
Exactly.
WWE and Dimension 20's Titan Takeover trailer. Pro Wrestling meets Dungeons and Dragons. I think I have the actual trailer. Zayda Steele deleted her account off Twitter because a bunch of sickos were saying, well, someone tweeted at her because she's WWE ID, right, and she has a match coming up with Megan Bayne, and some sicko was like, oh, if Megan Bayne was like a real one, she'd shoot on her and break her legs in the ring. And then like a bunch of people jumped on that, and Zayda Steele deleted her social. So sickos at it again, bro. Like, they just can't help themselves from being sick freaks, man, and just like running people off. And again, wishing actual physical harm. Like, even if that's a joke, it's just so stupid. And that's the tribal issue. Like, awful wrestling isn't saying, oh, this person should break someone's legs. And, that's the difference that these sickos don't understand. They all pretend, just love wrestling, but then they don't actually think that. And then they're mad at people who are upfront, like, no, I want this company to die over here. It's like, at least they're being honest about where they, like Awful, for instance, at least he's honest about where he stands. You're like dishonest and wishing physical harm on people because AE wubs. You're a goof,
Yeah, but if you say, AEW is great because they hire hundreds of people and they give, wrestlers other places to work, and they've raised the pay scale for wrestlers all over the place, and then you're mad at somebody who signs an ID contract, which is really, probably akin to like a Legends contract, and just gives you access to the Performance Center and gives you a leg up, but it's like just extra training. They're still an indie wrestler, but either way, you're mad at that person and you want their legs to be broken because of that. I mean, first of all, can Megan Bayne, I mean, who's to say that Megan Bayne, just because she looks like an Amazon, could take out Zayda?
I mean, everyone thinks she's a shooter now. It's like, bro, if Thunder Rosa shot a double leg on Bane, and like she's fought in MMA. Right. I'm sorry, dude. She'd probably tie Megan Bayne up if they really grappled it out. So yeah. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know anything about Zayda Steele. It's just, anyway, you're right. The whole premise is stupid and it's hypocritical.
So, future stars of wrestling, FSW Vegas is excited to announce that current WWE superstar Real Killer Kross will be appearing at Benefit for Bay. So, the Chris Bay benefit, right? WWE is letting him do this. This is his first appearance inside an FSW ring in more than 3 years. An announcement will be made regarding his opponent shortly. I'm sure that'll be a great match. Praying for Bay over here. So here is Jey Uso with a Toronto Raptors Uso tee. I'm gonna order one of these, bro.
Yeah. You see it, Canada.
Might already got one coming, bro.
You see it, Toronto. Pull up, booze. Get your exclusive Toronto Raptor Geek shirt right now, man. It's hot. Get them. Yeet.
Well, I got a yeet for that. That is fresh to death, as the kids say. So report now I'm not even going to read this report because I don't care. Cultaholic needs to really take a look in the mirror and figure out like what they're trying to be. Okay, unless they've already done that and we already know. But Cultaholic says WWE changes planned winner of men's Elimination Chamber match, and they're doing everything they can. And I avoided every spoiler, like Minecraft. Minesweeper, the original Minecraft. Minesweeper, bro. Right? I'm jumping over every spoiler. Here's the thing. How are they saying they changed the plan of the win or the planned winner when they don't know who the winner? Like, the event didn't even happen yet. So how can you even say, oh, they changed who they had planned? Anyone could just say that about anything. Oh, they changed who they had planned to beat Chelsea Green on SmackDown, could say that about anything before it happens or after it happens. Such phony. Well, when are you supposed to say it, Phil? Don't. No, but it's just phony baloney nonsense. Phony baloney nonsense. And all this stuff that gets out, if you hear like, oh, this guy's supposed to win, it's because WWE's floating it out to see the reaction of the internet, and then they can adjust accordingly. So maybe Cultaholic's right. But just to even be saying this, like all the tweets were, I don't know. If you guys are in the IWC, you know what I'm saying. Everybody's trying to spoil this chamber. Feels like really before this chamber, there was like, I hate to pull the Tony Khan and be like, oh, the bad press right before a pay-per-view, but man, the pushback from sickos on behalf of Dave Meltzer going at the chamber and WWE specifically and TNA as of late has been so heavy. Like, I don't know if it's like desperate times call for desperate measures. That's what I be saying on the show all the time. Dose, what do you make of that? And do you notice it, or do you think it's like about the same and maybe I'm just sensitive to like the pushback?
I mean, I don't think Cultaholic has done anything original in 2 or 3 years, so I don't really pay much attention to it. And I think it's all nonsense, and whatever, if it's there at all, it's because either they made something up or WWE leaked it. And I don't even think it's really negative press to say they changed the decision. Who cares? I mean, as long as the outcome is good and interesting and compelling for them to make changes, isn't a big deal. If it ends up that everyone is pulled out of this and Tozawa ends up being the winner and that was the change, well, that sucks. But I mean, Cultaholic doesn't have any sources. They just parrot what Dave Meltzer says, who also doesn't have any sources, or at least none to tell him the truth. So I don't pay it any mind. They're saying they may have changed it. Okay, great. Maybe they'll change it again. I mean, makes no difference to my life.
It makes no difference to Dose. Female locker room tweets out, surprise, Trish Stratus found out live on Busted Open Radio today that she is being inducted into the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2025. Congratulations, Trish Stratus. And let's listen to her accept this thing or hear about it on
the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame have selected Trish Stratus for the class.
Wow! Oh my God!
Awesome!
That's awesome!
Oh my
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you so much, Seth. I remember being in there. I was like,
even Featherstone is hit or miss.
One day. Oh my God. That is so special. Seth, thank you so much. Please tell the board members thank you. And when am I checking my calendar? October? Let me check my calendar for October. That means so much to me. Oh, to be recognized by colleagues and people in the business and that they acknowledge your career, it means so much. And I know we had that special connection when we were there. I appreciate it so much. And it's like just a crazy part of my 25th anniversary. It just feels like such a full circle moment. Thank you so much. I am so excited about this. I can't wait. And I can't wait to go back. You guys got to go to the museum. It's the coolest thing you'll ever see. Like, it's a physical museum, like it has all these artifacts and it's very awesome. And I'd love to give something to leave there.
See, if I was like Tony Khan and had $1 billion, I would invest in like a museum, like a crazy, I don't know, it's starting to happen. But if I was like, oh, I can waste $1 billion, I would spend some on a museum for pro wrestling. I think Tony would be better suited doing like mark like that, not to make it about AEW, but WWE NXT ratings saw a big increase from last week. They averaged 799,000 viewers with a 0.19 in the 18 to 49. Up 40% year over year, up 19% in the key demo. They're crushing it. CW got a steal. They are absolutely so happy with NXT. Yeah, NXT doing a great job here. I'm ecstatic for them. My favorite wrestling show, Dose. I know you agree with me on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what else can we add? Just keep blowing NXT all the time? Sure. I mean, if you guys want, but we can move along. Here is Penta and Sheamus having tons of fun together. No Diddy. Just two men playing with balls, dude. Hands and balls, man. What can I say, dude? Some handball? No Diddy, bro. There's no baby oil anywhere. Well, I mean, there probably is, right? It's Sheamus, but you guys know what I'm saying.
And his luchador mask.
Yeah. You know Diddy's got a luchador mask somewhere, that freak. Allegedly.
Diddy and Neil Gaiman are playing together. Actually, Neil Gaiman sounded a little bit more like...
Yeah, dude. Neil Gaiman, that sucks about him. Well, for him,
yeah.
you know?
It's just weird. It's just all weird.
7-3.
All right, so there you go. They're playing like handball or some old guy. I don't know. I'm just teasing. So Fraxium has now been trademarked by WWE finally. Crazy. It hasn't been until now. Somebody dropped this graphic, Wrestling Republic. This graphic, Wrestling Republic. This is where everybody got this graphic from. And they're like, this is the pathway to the main roster, essentially. Some people took it and played with it, but here's the OG one. I love this. So NIL ID and then Evolve LFG. So from there, you either go to Evolve or LFG. And then from there, you go to NXT where you're streamlined. And then you go to either Raw or SmackDown. I love this little graph here. This is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if LFG fits up there with Evolve or belongs down with NIL or ID, but...
No, it does. And I'll explain why. Because the LFG people, some people are there for a week. Some people were on that last reality show on Roku called WWE Next Gen. That BJ Ray guy was an asshole. He got in a shoot fight with one of those guys that are in the new spooky wannabe Shield group in NXT. The one dude in that group. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but they got in a real fight on the Next Gen show because they're both like amateur collegiate wrestlers or whatever, you know? So
he went to Duke.
So some people come through NIL, some people come through WWE ID, and then they decide, okay, you get a shot on Evolve because maybe you're a little more advanced already, or you're like more of an indie guy, whatever. It seems like Evolve is a little more focused on the indie people, so the ID people, I would say, whereas LFG is more focused on the NIL talent. But I think you get a mixture of both, just depending where they see you fit. And then from there, from Evolve or LFG, they go, all right, you belong on NXT. And then from NXT, they decide whether you belong on Raw or SmackDown, you know? I love that. I love this graph here. Moving along. The Wrestling Observer says that, I don't know why this isn't in Dave Meltzer's, maybe just because it's WWE news, but during the ongoing TKO investors call, Nick Khan said Netflix has an appetite for more. Feed me more. Nick Ryback Khan said that Netflix has an appetite for more WWE and that more ancillary programming is being planned. So there you go. We knew this was going to happen. The number going down, they knew that was going to happen. They played the first Raw like a PLE because they know that the PLEs are going to do big business and draw big numbers. Like the WrestleMania numbers are going to be crazy. Like if it tickled 10 million, I wouldn't be surprised this year. But TKO says that they are close on an agreement with the Saudis on the creation of a boxing league where TKO would be the producer, the promoter, and responsible for day-to-day operations of the venture, whereby we would receive a fee of 10 million plus, and they're putting no money into it. And basically they got Dana White there to do what he does in the UFC and go, hey, boxing, off with the WBO and the WBC and we'll just have the best fight the best. And I can't wait for that. But again, TKO doing huge business. Now, we do have a little bit of negative news surrounding them a bit from their net revenue this year. And I'm surprised the sickos haven't jumped all over this, but they would get owned if they did anyways. Either way, though, Jey Uso praises Gunther ahead of WrestleMania 41. He says he's the best in-ring performer. There's something about him. He carries that energy. He's intimidating, strong, big, and heavy. So basically, Jey giving him a big yeet, and we all know that. Everyone's putting Gunther over. Gunther's the man. Travis Scott will be at Elimination Chamber. I started bookmarking these, but they're just stupid. So WWE's doing the 50 greatest WrestleMania matches ever. They ranked 49 with Sting, Triple H, and it's like, come on now. Even that one you can't lie about and say it was, know, like the Observer's claiming that Malakai Black should be returning to WWE imminently. So what I think, Brian, is that he'll be back on. The lights will go out Raw after Mania. That's what I think, Brian. So, yeah, shout out Malakai Black. Can't wait for him to come back. Hit the road, Black, and hope you come back real soon. Just kidding. So, WWE, UFC, and PBR, not the beer that I'm actually literally drinking right now, but professional bull riders will host a trio of events from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City from April 24 to 28 with PBR on Thursday, UFC on Saturday. UFC's on, Fight Night's on right now, too. They're going head-to-head with WWE. Here's the thing. They got slap fight, they got UFC, they got boxing, they got WWE, they got bull riding. Sports and entertainment will be owned, if it isn't already, by TKO, just in the palm of their hands. I think it is, right, Dose? That's fair to say. No?
Yeah, I mean, there's always competition, but they're buying the premier brand and all these sort of weird kind of niche things that, I guess NASCAR's next.
The West Australian. Perth is set to host Raw, SmackDown, and a PLE event in the near future, mate. Crikey! And Tony Khan's like, crikey! This is great. So Brian R. Sullivan, here's some big news here. TKO. And this is now, we're diving into, again, the reason the sickos aren't on this is because once you leave the pro wrestling bubble and you venture with Phil Marks and Evil Dose into the world of TV and entertainment, and you go into the world of MMA and things like that, maybe more so me, but TKO took in $2.804 billion in revenue for 2024, but only cleared a profit of $6.4 million. Man, UFC has got to be a disaster. Well, I'll break that down in a second. WWE hasn't shown a profit margin that slim since the depths of the mid-90s. Now, let's break that down. Dose, what happened in the mid-90s in WWF?
Well, they almost went out of business for one. So
right. So WWE's not close to that. And what happened? And we're starting to see a resurgence in recent years, in let's say the last 4 years. So the mid-2000s. 20s, the mid-2020s were sort of coming out of the back end. What happened in the late 90s in WWF, Dose?
Well, there was the Monday Night Wars with WCW as a real rival.
And we saw a resurgence. Now, maybe it happened a little earlier, the early 2020s up until the late 2020s, mid to late. But we're seeing the resurgence, right? And that's fair. WWE, they're making money hand over fist, but yeah, the viewership on TV, you'd have 10 million people watching or whatever during the Monday. What was the peak, Dose? Do you know, what was their peak in the Monday Night War? Do you remember offhand roughly?
I think between both Nitro and Raw, I think at times it got to 20 to 30 million people combined.
Yeah, dude. So now it's obviously not even close. You're lucky
and I'm just
if Raw and AEW were on at the same time, you're lucky if 3 million are watching across both things. But in America or whatever. But what we're saying is that WWE is still making money in other ways. The attendance is up and all of that. And Brian R. Sullivan, I don't know how overly familiar he is with that aspect, or as far as is he a sicko? Is he one of these AEW, whatever? But here's the thing. UFC is not necessarily a disaster. This year, or last year, they had to pay out a $375 million class action lawsuit. They're paying fighters, Matt Riddle's getting paychecks now in retroactive. They had to pay out so it's $6.4 million plus 375 that they agreed to pay out.
Plus,
more or
there were,
less.
I mean, there were still a lot of costs in acquiring WWE in the
Right,
merger.
exactly that.
And,
So I wanted to bring that up, as
and
well as
and
go ahead.
you can amortize those things if you want over time to spread out the losses. The fact that they took them all in 1 year actually means that they knew they had money to spare, so they took the hit. But
Right.
going forward, you know, even if there's no growth next year, and there will be growth probably,
There will be, and I'll explain why in 1 second. Just factually,
but
there will
even
be.
if there
Sorry.
isn't, it's going to look like they made $700 million more dollars just because they didn't have these $650 million or whatever the costs were in losses, maybe more. I don't know how much of the money for WWE was this year, but all $375 million was of that settlement. They just ate tax wise now, and I know if you're not a tax person or a business person, of course it makes sense. You spent the money, it's gone. But with businesses, you have choices on how you can spread that money out as loss and carry it forward, and they just chose to eat it.
Yes, and then like you said too, acquiring WWE and all of that. And so at the end of this year, UFC's TV deal is up as well, bro. So based off of like exactly how you broke it down, plus add whatever they get from Netflix, most likely. Or if Disney's like, no, that we're not losing UFC, ESPN's just like, boop, boop. They've backed the Brinks trucks up, and it's like, whatever happens, you're exactly right. Next year, it's going to be like their profits up 1,000%. By God, maybe not that, but you guys know what I'm saying, right? It's going to be insane next year. And this isn't like Dave Meltzer. Like, I'm not giving you a number. I'm just saying UFC's so valuable. One of the recently too, you guys have to understand, UFC saw a huge wave of fan increase and interest and popularity stemming from the pandemic. And leaving the pandemic, this huge wave of growth has come in year over year. So this TV deal is going to be so massive for them. And then we're talking about PBR and all of these things. Who knows? But it's going to be insane. And next year, they're going to be stating like record profits for TKO again. And I almost guarantee it. So, yeah, I'm surprised the sickos ain't jumped on this one, but they're just not they're not paying attention to like this. They just go for the low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? And this is like, you have to critically think to even understand, because you can't prove anywhere that Tony's brought in 6.4 million any year for AEW,
Right. I mean, the chances that he's ever made that profit in this, I mean, he's probably made $620 million in losses, all said and done.
Wrestle Talk says WWE NXT stars Malborn, who is partially deaf, on Randy Orton comparisons. And he says, bro, I'm not Randy Orton. He hears voices. I don't hear. So that's pretty funny.
Let's go back to that Western Australia thing, because that's actually bigger than we just. It's actually a partnership between a region in Australia to be the beachhead, a foothold. They actually have like an operations center, in Australia now for all of these brands. So to do shows now, they already have their logistical and their business hub set there. So it's not like we're going to do a show in Perth and we got subsidies. It's not like we're going to go to Brisbane and do one show and forget about all the debacle that happened there. And there might have been some incentives on. This is like, we actually already have like WWE has an office in Canada, so there's no visa issues for Canadian wrestlers and US wrestlers going there. This is actually, they have like a beachhead in the continent, the country of Australia. I don't know if it applies to the whole continent down there, but I mean, it's bigger than just a deal. This is actually like a formal corporate conglomerate headquarters launching off point.
Oh, it's not just like a dude hotshot booking a stadium, then realizing he has to do like an arena, and then realizing he can't fill that, and then having a janky ring and going like, oh, but it's great though. But Takeshita.
I can't. I'm still getting grief over that ring.
So I'm going to play this movie trailer. Here's Karrion Kross. Everyone's like, where has he been? He's not on TV.
Wait, let me tell you something before you start that. My friend wrote, produced, and directed that movie.
There you go, dude. Shout him the out.
Jet Jansen. He was on Garden Views, and he was on
Jet Jansen.
Jet Jansen Rodriguez. He was on Garden Views. and he was also on Book of Black under his wrestling name.
How long you been on the streets?
Less than most.
And how long you been using?
Hey, Jack. We got a really cool book on Edward Hopper and Pablo Picasso.
Wait, Edward Hopper?
Yeah.
I mean, The House by the Railroad, The Morning Sun. Oh, the often imitated Nighthawk.
Get out of here, you junkie. Some of us are working.
How much would an Edward Hopper painting cost?
At Christie's, they auction for millions.
Hey, what you selling it for?
It's $2,000.
Excuse me, sir. I was just wondering about the job opportunity.
So do you have some kind of plan?
Just need $2,000 to do it.
That's it.
That changes everything.
I am going to pay you for 4 trips over 4 weeks. If I find out that you missed a meeting or you pop in a drug test and throwing you off this site, I'm not paying you $1.
So what do you guys think of that, man?
Is that an independent film?
It is. It very much is.
Dude, that looks pretty good to me, man.
Oh, yeah. Yoshiki Inamura versus Ivar on WWE Speed. So Inamura is on Speed on the Twitter show. So shout him out. Everybody loves him. The commentary team for WWE Evolve premiering this coming Wednesday will be Robert Stone and Peter Rosenberg. And I tweeted out, I was like, man, Rosenberg doesn't even know like current history of wrestling, let alone like these indie guys. Man, it's just I don't think Rosenberg's the move. Stone will do a fine job. But yeah, I just really don't think Rosenberg's the guy to have.
Hashtag hire Phil Marks for Evolve.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Seriously.
So it's official. WWE has announced that Roman Reigns will appear live on the European tour for SmackDown episodes. That's awesome. Now, I have an allegedly here. You guys want an allegedly?
Always.
Sure. Okay, so let me just see what I was sent here off screen going into direct messages. Roman Reigns allegedly, possibly, might only have like 10 or a little bit more dates left in 2025, period. And so just something to stay on the lookout for, like how much will he be used? How much do they transition away from him? You know, I'm like next year he might be. We talked about this with Husey on the show before. We speculated like, you know, what if Tony Khan was just like 20 million for 1 year or something? You know, it could be something, right? Here's another thing that was said on K100. However, I don't know if the episode was released or there is a clip of this yet. So just stay on the lookout. I was told that K100 said this, so it's all good if because it's coming out. So this is credited to them as well. Tessa Blanchard's run in TNA is 100% a test to see if she can stay out of trouble before she comes to WWE. So unless she signed a big long-term deal, she should be in WWE, or they may have already given up on that because everyone chants she's a racist at her and stuff. Racialist, sorry, YouTube. But yeah, that is those are my alleged leads for WWE right there that I was given the Cleario to just say, look, this is what's, you know, you'll hear this on K100 this week if you haven't already in a clip or whatever. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's what do you guys make of that stuff that I just dropped on you?
All sounds feasible. I mean, I will say this. If Roman is transitioning, it is not to go to AEW, it's to go to Hollywood.
Right.
But I will say this, I will miss him. The show is not the same without his presence on it or near it. Like when he's gone for you don't know how long, and like it's rarely a surprise that he's going to show up. You know, I think he's that missing element that made all that stuff feel important. I get that Tama Tonga is hurt and that Bronson Reed got hurt, and and so it's not so important to have him there at the moment. But I miss the guy.
I say he's nothing if not entertaining. So I'm not surprised though with how he's kind of been the last few years as well. Like he's kind of gone away and come back and gone away and come back. I'm interested to see how those European, I guess it'll be tape shows of SmackDown. I know Raw they can do them live. It'll be very interesting for that to watch that tour.
I mean,
I don't know. I say no Tessa in WWE, bro.
For that, yeah.
Though, he's having his vacations paid for to their European tour. I mean, swell.
Speaking of Breeze, WWE chose not to freeze Carmella's contract. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Oh. So they chose not to freeze Carmella's contract. Good for her, man. Good for her. WWE ID official action comes to North Carolina this Friday. It'll be Sean Legacy versus Jackson Drake at PWF Live. Yeah, someone posted on Twitter. I'll check it out. I'm not gonna.
Is Jackson Drake the one who's the brother of James Drake from Grizzled Young Veterans?
No clue, bro.
I know his brother just got to America, and he was trying to pump him up some and get him to get followers. And
what are they, Canadian or something?
English.
I think they're Scottish or Irish. But then James Drake got injured. So, but I think anyway, I don't know. He might be. Don't be surprised if Jackson Drake is in fact James Drake's brother.
Yeah, I know James Drake's from like Liverpool or Blackpool or one of those.
WWE CEO Nick Khan says the company is expanding their relationship with Netflix. He said, all we've seen with Netflix is an appetite for more WWE. They've been phenomenal to deal with. They've promoted the way we had hoped we would be promoted, even more so than we had hoped. Lex Luger says he's always hopeful about a potential WWE Hall of Fame induction. He's like, CVV's like, are you going to be in the Hall of Fame? And Lex Luger's like,
I don't know.
The worst setup for the fucking for the bit in history, but
maybe Luger, if you calm down a little bit.
People say that good things come to those who wait, always hopeful. If not, I still feel I had a great career. There are a lot of deserving guys other than me who still aren't in as well. Yeah, it would be a huge honor though if and when it happens. Lex Luger, a shoe-in. I think should happen.
I think it's next year. I think it'll be next year. Yeah. I think Louisiana would be perfect because he did a lot of time in the Crockett region and like Mid-South and stuff. And then if DDP can help him get to walk and he can walk out there and give his speech, that would be a moment.
I'm from West Side, Holly Grove, Louisiana. I hope Lil Wayne's there, though. I do love that guy. So,
he'll definitely be there.
WWE star Steven Sheamus Farrelly signs with Paradigm. Big poppin', Lil stoppin'. I hope T.I.'s not there. No.
Yeah.
I wrote this as well. Nobody's talking about about the shot that Miz took at the Go Big show that Cody Rhodes was a judge on during his time in AEW. Miz on SmackDown was like, Cody, do you want to be the fourth most important judge on a competition show, or do you want to be like in Fast and Furious or whatever, So yeah, there was a little dig there at the Go Big show that nobody really talked about other than yours truly, Phil Marks.
Yeah, nobody really watched it either, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't remember it existed.
Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas is reportedly off the road in WWE at present, with the Wyatt Six last televised appearance being on the December 9 episode of Raw. This was 6 hours ago, and I was like, dude, the Wyatt Six were shown on television last night on SmackDown during Alexa Bliss. So
what's wrong with him?
I don't think anything. I think they're just chilling. And Wyatt Six people just aren't really into Wyatt Six, bro, right now. Akira Tozawa's Twitter account got hacked by crypto scammers. So Asuka and then now Akira. So don't click on any weird links you get sent. Here's CM Punk dancing with Naomi and Bianca here.
He's a groomer. He's a predator. It's just having his best life, and people.
And Beyonce, yeah, I don't know. People are hating on Punk. It's like, guys, magnet Punk. Like you don't get it. Ladies love him, bro. Even if he wasn't. And I don't think he is creeping. Just ladies love him, bro. That's what it is. So it's not his fault. You know that he's fun, and charming, and people like to be around him. You know what I mean? Stephanie McMahon is launching an official WWE podcast where she talks about her time. She's just doing side quests now for WWE, which I think that's where she should be. Just out of the chaos. Out of people trying to blame her for her father's shortcomings and stuff. John Cena was the 16th highest paid actor of 2024, taking home $23 million, which is pretty crazy.
Nice.
Tim Allen, though, is like number 4. No, not Tim Allen. Sorry. Jerry Seinfeld was number 4. And I tweeted out, I was like, all he did was make one Pop-Tart movie for Netflix, and he landed number 4. That's some goat right there. TKO CFO Andrew Schleimer revealed that WWE receives $55 million for each event held in Saudi alone.
Jesus.
The company is expected to host 3 PLEs per year in Saudi starting in 2026, totaling $165 million annually. Insane bag. So, by Dave Meltzer's own math, AEW is absolutely not in competition whatsoever. Right. It's not even the same thing whatsoever. Stupid idiot. We're just done having that conversation, right? Like right there, just their Saudi deal destroys any Meltzer math that he tries to do right there alone. A WWE draft is still planned for the post-WrestleMania season, which some people were saying, what's the point? If like the trade window comes before the draft every year, then I'm okay with that, but it sort of muddies it up and feels a little redundant. No? Man, no?
If the draft should include way more people from NXT, that's where it should really kind of be more with. And it should start like a feud between Aldis and Adam Pearce where they're trying to get draft picks and fighting with each other so they can have a WrestleMania match.
And so transfer options seemed like it was probationary to see if you made an impact. So it seemed like there were some stakes for you. So if you were sort of middling in Raw, you came on SmackDown, you knew you had to like really kick ass, and that would be a story. Like you overdid it and couldn't do it, or you do achieve. So you could have some stories and it would mean something. But so I understand why people are saying no, because these things have just been ignored. But it doesn't bother me. I think these shows should be basically open doors anyway.
The CW will become profitable in 2026. Next Star reaffirms with 40% of its programming now sports. I mean, they fucking just a steal for NXT, and this is why they're gonna get so much more when they get re-upped and that negotiating chip. Like, look, dude, we turned CW around. You know what I mean? Like, just having that bargaining chip and that tool is amazing. Here is Cody Rhodes on his IG. Our last bit of news here. Here's Cody Rhodes. He posted this on IG 2 hours ago, going over all of the good times and the hard times. Tell you're feeling alright. Careful what you're feeling on the inside. You should try to remember the good times and oh, sorry, it's lived.
I thought we were gonna do the leave the memories alone bit.
As we go on, we remember.
Sadly, that was actually my high school graduation song.
We'll watch Chelsea Green comparing US and UK snacks. Good. Your pickles?
I mean, as a side, like a little bit one with the sandwich, or I'll take a skewer, but not a big pickle guy.
Pause.
Yeah, damn it.
You what?
Field day, son of a bitch.
Or the other thing, yeah, chat's got you. You're now.
Yeah, walked right into that one. Open door.
Yeah, well,
and then we have UK. We have pickled onions. Dose, you're Jewish as well. Van Holten's kosher pickle. Are you familiar?
I'm not familiar with Van Holten's, but I love me a kosher pickle. Sure, delicious when sided with a nice deli sandwich. What's better?
Hell yeah! What about a pickled onion?
I don't believe I've ever had it, but like all Jake, I would try it. I mean, it's not like a
order like a whole tray of them, but yeah, right.
I have tried pickled onion.
It's in this weird brown stuff. Now, obviously, it's just flavoring, but whatever's in that sauce there, that juice is soaked into the onions. I love onions. Now, I don't know if I would just eat a pickled onion or if I would like chop those up and throw them on top of a burger or something, or like a hot dog. That'd be really good, but I wouldn't just eat one straight up. I'd try it once, but yeah, I'm not like, I don't think I'd slam through a jar. The brown stuff is vinegar. Yeah, but I'm sure there's other stuff in there too, right? Like when we pickle pickles over here, I'll throw like a jalapeno juice and stuff in there too. Like you mix it together and flavor them, you can do different thing. So I'm assuming there's something like maybe a splash of Worcester sauce or whatever they use in the UK, right? I'm sure there's a hit of some UK shit in with that vinegar as well, you know? Or is it brown vinegar? Looks like piss to me, chat. I don't know.
That was awesome.
Oh my God. Shout out to Chelsea Green. She's awesome.